So sir, before we go ahead, Akhtar sir को मैं request करूँगी वो आपका introduction करे. Akhtar sir, would you please introduce sir?
Sure, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, all the students. It's my honor and privilege to introduce the guest of the day, Shri Rajendra Singh ji, sir. Sir is an IPS officer from 1989 batch with overall experience of more than 28 years. He is postgraduate in science and graduate in law and senior executive in law enforcement. He has experience in man management and resource management. Sir is also an expert in crime investigation, security, and legal issues. Sir has also served as ADGP of Planning, Coordination, and Provision. He is presently posted as Additional Director General of Police and Chief of Special Task Force Maharashtra Police, and has been enrolled to the rank of ADG in Government of India, where his assignments include planning, execution, and supervision of police operations. He is also an alumnus of IIM Bangalore, specialized in public policies and management. As it is always said that we make plans to avoid the unexpected, but crises always happen when the expectations are least. So we have to be ready with the crisis management plan as well. Sir's topic for the day is role of planning and organizing in crisis management. Now I request you, sir, to kindly take over the session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. My presentation is about crisis management and role planning, and I'll just run through the PPTs. Will take some about, let's say, 40-45 minutes, and then we still have about 15-20 minutes for the question answers or anything what the students want to ask anything.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So, like as any person, common man, or a government executive, or a government employee, or a person working in the private organizations, big organizations, the management, the employees, they always have some occasions, might have had, or they may have, because some crises occur in the organizations or in the in the public. So basically what in the beginning I'll say like something about crisis, then crisis management, the role of planning ultimately is the planning, which I'll be dealing with. Crisis, as we all know, it's a difficult situation, dangerous situation, which brings a lot of instability, and the life of individuals is totally disturbed. There's threat to the life of the society at large sometimes, and always there's some element of surprise, and crises are not like normal ups and downs in an organization. They are something different than that. The scale of the danger is a little more than that, and unpredictable but not unexpected, and that is the kind of how the crisis is defined. Crisis may be because of the man-made reasons or natural reasons. Natural reasons we all know. We had tsunami, we have floods every year, we had serious earthquakes in the part of country. Again, some of the earthquakes are being experienced in different parts of the country as of now also. Now in the sense last month and kind of thing. And cyclones, we had cyclone in Calcutta and also in some parts of Mumbai and Raigad district. And man-made crises are accidents, malevolence, strike, organizational failure, sometimes mistakes, misdeeds, serious issue of the value system, hijacking, terrorist attacks, then bankruptcy. That's also a serious kind of thing. Basically, for the private organizations, also like a larger scale. If the governments fail, then of course, the systems fail and government goes bankrupt. Then of course, there's strife and civil unrest.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
But आपने presentation on नहीं रखा है ना?
My presentation on?
अब आपका प्रेजेंटेशन, आपका पीपीटी इज नॉट विजिबल, सो आई एम जस्ट चेकिंग कि आपने पीपीटी शुरू की है कि नहीं, मुझे हमें नहीं दिख रही है वो.
I started my PPT.
राइट, आई
Visible now?
थॉट कि आपने शायद नहीं सर, आपको शेयर स्क्रीन क्लिक करके वो करना पड़ेगा. आई थिंक आपने किया है शायद, बट आई कांट सी. श्योर सर.
It's visible now?
नो सर, इट इज नॉट.
Now?
One sec. I think it's starting, sir. Give me a second. Yes, sir. It is. It is. Abhi hai visible.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I just discussed about the crisis, causes of crisis. Now come to this, what is crisis management as such? Like, as I told, crisis, take place, and the main reason is why we should have the crisis management and why effectively we should handle, so that we can prevent the loss, we can minimize the loss as a pattern. Preventive stage as such is before the actual stage and thing, but once the crisis has taken place, then our main objective focus is how we can minimize the loss to the individuals, to the property, and how we can prevent the further kind of the damage to the system, like how we can stop or prevent the spread of the now we have the pandemic corona problem and the thing, how how we can prevent the spread, and once a serious situation has taken place, how we can rescue the people, rehabilitation. Then always basically this is government and also private organizations, how the essential services should be maintained. There's a real priority during this kind of situation. Like if people are really facing the hunger, people are. Hello. Hello.
Yes, please, sir. Carry on, sir. Please.
Okay. So then another thing is basically at government level and thing, how to restore the public confidence. That's really very, very important. There should not be any panic in the public because of some rumors or some misinformation or some not supplying the correct information. So crisis management is basically a process by which an organization or the government deals with the crisis, and in the crisis management, we require some period decisions, and decision involves trade-offs. I mean, you take decisions. Some decisions may be difficult decisions, and sometimes at the large kind of the savings or large interest, we had to sacrifice some minor things. So there was a trade-off, and some very significant risks sometimes are to be taken while handling the crisis. So the point is, the person who is taking the decisions, he should be ready for it, and also the entire system should support him. If the system doesn't support, then this person's decision capacity will be really going down, and ultimately he will not be able to handle the crisis properly. Now the introductory part, crisis, and what the that thing is over, and now we come to planning. Planning has been for any kind of the activity or any kind of the objectives, goals we want to achieve, or if you want to handle any situation, planning really plays an important role. You can start with the financial planning, economic planning of the country, planning large in the country, and crisis management is just one of the subset of the so many problems or so many issues which big organization handles, or which we keep on handling everything. So planning is really, I mean, it doesn't really require any kind of more stress than we already know anything. So we know that some crisis will take place. So we should really have some plan ready, how it can be mitigated, how it can be handled. Planning, it can be a pre-planning, it can be planning when the actual situation is developing or actual situation has happened. It happens that we cannot plan for all the kind of contingencies or all the kind of the problems which may occur. But if we have the basic framework ready, then we can plan better and we can handle the situation better. So plans should be always documented. They should be document available. It should be well circulated. and it should cover like, preventive plan, how to respond to a situation, what will be communication plan, what is the evolution and monitoring, and then further improvement plan, plan for recovery, and plan for training and rehearsals. Now, how to go about preparing a crisis plan, crisis management plan? When we are working in an organization or the government, so many, problems may come, crisis may come. There may be serious riots at large scale in your place. As far as private organization is concerned, there may be so many scenarios which may develop. So visualize all scenarios, all possible scenarios. Then after you have visualized the scenario, then assess the vulnerability, which parts are more vulnerable, which things will require more attention, which things will require the first handling, which things require the second handling. Another thing very important in the planning, when you're making a plan ready, and when you're preparing a document, define the role and responsibility of the persons, management, managers, employees, public. I mean, when we are government is dealing with the situation. Also, when the private organization also have a lot of interface with the public, customers, then the banks and all that. And least the support providing groups. But happens that you cannot meet all the requirements or all the things essential to mitigate the crisis. So you have to have a list of the supporting groups ready, their name, which are supporting groups you require for your organization. So that enlist the support providing groups. Form a crisis management team. It's always like any plan, like who will be the leader, who will be putting the plan into operation, what is the team which will be crisis management team, which will be taking decisions, which will be guiding the operations. So we have to form a plan, and a plan has to have a team management team. Next point is very, very important. You have to identify the suitable man, experts to mitigate a certain situation, and you require particular material, equipments to handle a situation. You have done all the thing and the thing, but when we are really having a problem at hand, and if you are not having the experts or the real equipment, then we are nowhere. Then we shall not be able to respond effectively, and as such, we shall not be able to prevent the damage. So, crisis management plan is, should have a proper chain of command and control. Basically, now I'm coming to the part of the plan which says about how we should respond to the situation. So a plan should have proper chain of command and control. There should be generally a unity of command. There should be a leader who need to be assisted by some experts on that. And chain of reporting has to be decided, like where they ultimately, like, who the person to be reported, and then who will be tasking the people, and then there should be some system in the plan, some provision in the plan for the monitoring and evolution. Provision of control room, or we may say war room, or we may say command room, any kind of the definition we can give to that. This should be a place where a quick supply of information to the top, to the down, and also to the external people. Also, generally, like during the crisis situation, the decisions are communicated to the field formations through the control room. So, control room should have all the contact addresses. It should be preferably maintained by a most experienced person, employee, manager, who is having knowledge about the different parts of the organization, different part of plants, different parts of the factory, or in, like, if you say the government setup, let's say he should have the different he should have knowledge about the different parts of the town or a city or the bigger place. I mean, it should not happen like if there is some place, some call comes and he says, okay, the problem is here. This man should be able to visualize, okay, this is the problem here and how we shall respond to the situation. My point is, your crisis management plan should have a provision in the plan for managing the control room by the most experienced people, most experienced person. And this person should be really very tolerant, because the number of calls and number of the problems that will be reported to him will be enormous. It's not a real simple situation he is handling and things. So he should not really lose temper. He should not really lose focus, and he has to be a tolerant person. His personality has to be calm and composed, and he should be the well-read person about the crisis management plan. Another thing, like your crisis management plan should have the communication plan. This is really very, very important. Sometimes communication really creates issues, and we also, like, sometimes people have some kind of opinion. They are misleading. They are not really telling the actual thing. Probably loss is more, and they are reporting less. So this kind of scope we should not really give to the public or to the stakeholders to think about it. Communication plan, like who will be addressing the media, who will be internally communicated, who will be externally communicating, and what is necessary to restore the confidence of public. Basically, this is very, very important, as I told earlier. Also, in the case of government, that's really very important. And I mean, this is called some, we should not allow any information pathologies to creep in. People should not think that, the management is deceiving the people or the authorities are deceiving the people. So we should have a communication plan ready. When we have a communication plan, we should also have the communication channels ready. There has to be a proper network of the communication. You should have, depending on the situation, depending on the scale of the problem and thing, you should have a large number of the phone lines, mobile phones, digital kind of communication systems. So all those kind of things you should have in your plan. Generally, your control room will have what? Let's say police control room. Let's say like Mumbai, we have more than 100 lines where people can give call and things. But places like Pune, we have about 30 stations which are being attended to for the public call something. But we have to have provision, like if the real crisis takes place, and then we have to think how these things can be augmented. How we can give more and more mobile phone number probably and things. So that network system has to be, kept in mind. How it can be augmented, that should be. Then, briefing of the media is again very, very important. We should not really shy away accepting the things. Put the real thing, and sometimes there are some issues, of course. That can be decided by the management. If this is really a very scary situation and it is panic, how that panic can be, managed or can be minimized. The next part is like your plan should have a coordination plan. When you are handling a situation, you will be requiring a lot of coordination with the government. You have to respond to the police. You have to coordinate with the police. You have to coordinate with the fire brigade. You have to coordinate magistracy, municipal corporation, politicians, and another different parts of the government or the municipal corporations. Another point is very, very important, and we have really faced it in the 80s in our country and things. And also it keeps on happening many times in some of the organizations. Any organization is really dealing with hazardous material. If they are in the manufacturing or supplying or transporting, if they are having a business of the dealing with hazardous material or dangerous material, inflammable material, then your plan has to be really very, very detailed. You have to be very specific about the technical persons, And in this kind of the plan, your preventive plan has to be the, topmost, so that the situation, the crisis doesn't really occur. But sometimes crisis will occur. If that case happens, then who will be persons who will be responding? If we know there, like who will be going and rectify this kind of problem? The techniques to be used, safety equipment like hazardous material, you can't go just like, you have to have some protective gears. I mean, you have to also have full design of machinery and plant with you available in your CMP and thing. If CMP or the like persons, you have to know the people who are knowing the entire machinery of plant design. But assembly lines, where if it like if the thing is to be stopped, from where it can be stopped and thing. Assembly lines, control, safety valves, etc. So the point of emphasis here is when your organization is dealing in hazardous material, then your plan has to be absolutely specific and having details of the old technical aspects of it. And also like this plan should also have like something, okay, if this problem has occurred, how to take the rectification measures if it really polluted the, like, I mean, can you do something to rectify the damage done to the atmosphere? I mean, that's the thing I would like, it has to have some system of informing the public at large, so that they can get away from the area of the problem. While preparing a plan, we should have the input from all the departments and executives and technical staff. Another point is very, very important thing, like particularly in the hazardous kind of material. So even otherwise also, like even the government also, we deal with so many situations, and also there are the past mistakes done, and what did we learn, and what improvement has been done. So past experiences of successful handling of some organizations, similar organizations, can also be kind of put in the CMP under the head probably best practices to be followed. This thing is again, I mean, very important. Like our crisis management team, there are different kind of models, and we have this hub and spokes model also. And like there's a hub, which will be the basically a decision taking teams and the thing, and spokes are the different other field operations. And so that's one model. And this is another, like crisis management team should have the persons from all the departments. Team and leaders should have sufficient autonomy of decision making. In government, it's very, very important, and the private organizations also, I think, it's very, very important. The board of directors have to have delegate the powers of the decision making to the actual managers who are in the field. They have to discuss with the team. Generally these are team decisions, and the idea is probably team is consisting of the very capable persons, and decision taken by individual like may not be really perfect many times. Listen to all field operators. New ideas may come up from there when the problem is evolving, and also he is in the field, and he is having the correct idea and correct knowledge of the situation. We should not have the leader who is in the AC chamber, and good to be in the AC chamber, nothing wrong, but he should listen to the field operators. He is in the field. He is giving a correct feedback, and try to listen to him and try to give solution to that problem. And leaders should lead from the front. That is what I mean, the idea is you have to mitigate, and it's a formation of team. All those things you have to care while preparing the team and selecting a leader. Now we have we have prepared a plan, and after preparation of plan, it's necessary that this has to be made known to the people, made known to the managers, made known to the employees, and rehearsals have to be done. So generally we go two ways. There are some exercises which are discussion based, and there are some exercises which are operation based exercises. seminars, workshops, tabletop games, lectures, training, the operation-based exercise drills, actual rehearsals, drills mean actual rehearsals, functional exercises like functions of particular department. Okay, we want to say, okay, let's say this particular assembly line department, how he will be functioning during the crisis. And full-scale exercise. This full-scale exercise is really very, very important, where the multidisciplinary approach has to be taken and all the department concerned are to be involved, and whose role is what during that kind of crisis. That is a real rehearsal and thing. And after having this rehearsal, we shall come to know the strength, weaknesses of a response system. Also, if there are some lacunae or some deficiencies in our plan, that can be rectified. After every exercise, there should be debriefing. We call in the government system kind of debriefing of the staff, managers, employees involved into that exercise, and what were the mistakes committed, what were deficiency noticed, so they need to be improved and included in the plan. Another thing is like, the CMP should also have the technological plan. What are possible technological failures that can happen? Sometimes, like, we are giving support to the some of the government agencies or some of the systems which are very, very crucial and which are very, very critical. Let's say I am a software making company and I am really, supplying the software to the ETC, or like, and if that software fails, like, it is a very critical in nature and can affect the lives of the hundreds of people. And as I told, like, if you are dealing with some hazardous material kind of the manufacturing or other aspects of it, then like if technological failure happens, then systems can really create a lot of problems. So while preparing CIP, the technological plan and thing, we should have all the possible scenarios. And as I told, who are the person who will be find the damage, who are software experts, engineers, and other professionals who need to be involved. Idea is like we have to have a contact with them. We have to know the people so that their services can be requisitioned in the minimum possible time. Our in-house, who are the persons who are, who are the experts in all those things, and or if some outside help is to be taken, though that can be done. And also, like, in the technological plan, we should also have to have the alternate plan. Okay, this software is not working, but the alternate plan thing which we can work on. And like generally when your organization is having a lot of data and some fire or some of your data has been lost or data has been stolen or like some other manipulation of data has taken place, so where the data recovery centers, data secrecy, integrity of information, all those things your CMP should address. And also the technological plan should have like, which are necessary equipments, and we should also check their availability. The next point in the crisis management plan in the financial planning. Any crisis comes and it really like requires a lot of funds and a lot of finances to handle that. I mean, we are all passing through the pandemic crisis in the world, and we very well know the like like in the crisis, the role of the finances or the financial planning, which is of the most important. So we require finances for the necessary funds for the equipments, mobility, communications, training expenses, and if company is having acute shortage of the finances, then list of financiers, banks, I mean, how it can be raised, whether from public platform or like whether bonds can be issued, that we should like this is these are the like normal private point of view. And as I told about the pandemic already. So crisis management is standard operating procedures developed the part of the operation. And the government, when we are having this SOP, so we have the